Hey guys, welcome to the Run.down. It's me, Tyrese, hosting for Sam. I've got Colin here, I've got Schwinn here, and the Knicks have won a playoff game in the second round. So, very interesting game to say the least. Final score 111 good guys, 105 bad guys, and the series is tied 1-1, heading back to South Beach. Lot to talk about, including the return of Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson's got to get through his ankle injury. No Jimmy Butler in this game. And it was, I think, agreed, it was like too close for comfort. And for a lot of this game, kind of felt like, what are the Knicks doing? But fourth quarter, they managed to pull it together through insane shot making from Jalen Brunson and really timely defense from Quentin Grimes and Josh Hart. And ultimately, they were able to bring it home. Lots to get into, lots to talk about. Where do you want to start, guys?
You're the host.
Can we start on game 3?
We should start on Tom Thibodeau and how he pissed me off majorly today. First of all,
I thought Tibbs was good in the fourth quarter. I'm not gonna lie. I thought his fourth quarter coaching was good.
I thought he was good in the fourth quarter because he finally realized he can't play RJ Barrett and Josh Hart together. And whoop-de-doo, the offense actually worked in the fourth quarter when there were shooters on the court. And even when Grimes didn't make his shots, Grimes' gravity was able to open up a lot of things, and his connected passing was able to create lanes. I think this kind of speaks to you cannot play Grimes. Not Grimes. You can't play Barrett and Hart together. Like, the numbers are out of whack, and individually those guys win their minutes. So it kind of feels like, why are you putting yourself behind the 8 ball so soon? I did not like a lot of his decision-making with the lineups. I felt that Hartenstein should have finished the game out. Like, I would just let him pick up 6 fouls. Like, I don't understand Tibbs' hesitancy to let guys pick up their 6th foul. Like, okay, if Hartenstein picks up his 6th foul, if you're going to bring in Mitch anyway, you might as well just try to run it down as long as you can. I don't understand why.
Especially like Hartenstein was so much better than Mitch tonight.
Yeah.
It wasn't close. It wasn't like he was swapping out like even field, like one for the other. No, he was swapping out a downgrade by every fucking sense of the term.
Yeah, and like, to his credit, Mitch Robinson had a good playoff series. Had a good playoff so far, but like tonight wasn't his night. He got his foul trouble really early.
This is just not going to be a series for him. Like, this is while I said that I think Tibbs definitely coached an awesome fourth quarter. Or not an awesome, that's probably a bit of a stretch, but I thought he coached a good fourth quarter.
By comparison. For the first
by comparison. His second half in general, they made more adjustments. Okay, that's fine. It's all well and good. Like, I'm a little bit more lenient in terms of like why they looked the way they did defensively in the first half, because Jimmy was announced out at like 6:30, right? I mean, it was like an hour or something before the game. The way they play with and without Jimmy is just different. So I can understand, like, you fuck up some of your screen and roll coverages and all that shit. I get that in the first half. The way they started the second half was not good defensively, but they got it together slowly but surely throughout the second half. And the fourth quarter, they were pretty locked in defensively. But like, this fucking Hart thing starting is absurd. I'm sorry. Like, this guy wouldn't fucking take Alfred Payton out of the lineup for an entire fucking season. And now he wants to change a rotate. He's not just changing the starting lineup. He has changed now the entire rotation. That was perfect. It was great. Like, the rotation was wonderful. We all liked it. Like, the starters were good. The bench was good. Everything was great.
With Hart coming off the bench.
Yeah, and now he can still close out this fucking game if he comes off the bench. There's no problem there. And Grimes clearly was not on some fucking minutes restriction. So, he's overcomplicating this, and he's fucking up our margins. Like, there's a reason why you have not started each half particularly well in the last couple of games. And quickly sucked at various points today. I'm happy that he seemed to actually find something right before he got pulled, but whatever. Like, it's not just quickly. Like, I think it affects everything. Like, I think it affects Obi. I think, how many leak outs has Obi gotten since Hart moved to the bench? How much transition are we getting since Hart? Like, I think it's really fucked up the bench unit for in terms of their rhythm. I think it's fucked up. The starter spacing is just
bad.
I don't even know. Yeah,
it's non-existent. It's non-existent.
It's not good. And credit to Hart that like, what did he have? 9 assists tonight. Like he was awesome, but he was just like making shit happen as a passer in the zone. But you could see how much harder they had to work for shots with that starting lineup. And then you look at the end of the game, right? Like Miami couldn't play zone. They had to play. They had to come out of zone purely because you had Grimes in that lineup. And yeah, I know that RJ shot really well from 3 tonight, and Grimes bricked his attempts. But like, it doesn't. The geometry just changes. The spacing changes. How the defense guards them changes. It opens up the floor for guys. I think you saw that it opened up the floor for Brunson in a very nice way. Like none of this makes sense. It does not make sense to change something that was actually successful. Like this is not the Alfred Payton thing, right? Where we were all like in the playoffs once he changed it, we were like, well, thank God, like that made sense. Like this didn't need to change. Nothing needed to change. It needed to change when Grimes was injured and when Randall was injured, sure. But now that they're back, like why are we changing anything? Like this is just dumb, and it's hurting us.
You can't say that without going back to Grimes though, and it goes back to this argument of like, is Tibbs just gonna play people if they're injured because he can, and like. But we don't know, and like I thought Grimes kind of looked like shit for the majority, at least on offense. Like he spaces the floor and he's always going to because he is that kind of shooter. But I did not think he played well in that regard.
I thought his defense was great. I thought his defense was really.
Hart's defense was fine, but I don't think Hart was a liability on defense either.
I think that first half Hart was a liability on defense because he was just getting torched, and it's like, why are you not using him as a point of attack defender? Like, what are you doing? Why is he like letting fucking Caleb Martin give him buckets? That made no sense to me.
I would say I didn't think Hart played particularly well on defense in the first half, but I feel very, 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 very strongly that the main culprits on defense were Jalen Brunson and Obi Toppin. Yeah. And Julius in the second half was. I don't really want to get into like that. I think Julius played a good game. He had some bad moments on defense. He had a very nearly terrible moment at the end of the game, stepping in bounds for no reason. But I think honestly, it was really good to see him in a playoff game shoot the way he did. I thought he played with confidence, maybe a little bit too much at times, but like I'd rather take that over whatever the hell we were seeing at the start of that Cleveland series. So I was happy with just seeing that. He got some really big rebounds down the stretch of the game. And I thought his passing actually down the stretch, kind of like at that top of the key area where he was the swing guy, he was really, really good down the stretch. So credit to him. But like, yeah, look, Brunson, awesome fourth quarter offensively, awesome second half offensively.
I was gonna say, second half.
But man, his defense today was terrible. Was terrible until the fourth quarter. And Obi, I don't know how you go from playing the way he did in the first game. Like, I'm always sympathetic to kind of his plight where it feels like even perfection doesn't matter. But like, this was like, I couldn't believe some of his defensive moments in this game. They were so bad. There was that one in the fourth quarter where Quickly and Hartenstein had Gabe Vincent stuck in the corner like he was dead. And Obi, for some reason, just left a guy wide open in the corner to go to the top of the key where he didn't need to go. And it was like, and I think Caleb Martin ended up hitting a 3 off that possession.
Yeah,
but like,
he did.
Yeah, and it was just ridiculous. Like I cannot even explain how bad Obi's defense was today. He had a possession. So like in the first half, Quickly has that turnover. Tibbs takes him out, and Obi stays in the game. I want to say it might have been before that. I don't remember if it was before or after, but they basically just had Obi's man set a screen on whoever RJ was guarding, and like Obi he clearly didn't communicate or something because they had no idea what to defend. They got an open fucking layup out of it, and they just roasted Obi so many times he was in for like how many minutes did he play? Like 8 or something. He was so bad today. His offense today was terrible too. I mean, he just immediately launched a 3 from the corner for no reason that was never close. And then I think he airballed both his 3. He airballed another one from the top of the key that he didn't need to shoot. Like, it was just, I don't know what was going on with him today. He was really bad. Quickly was not good. Hartenstein was awesome. He was spectacular tonight. And honestly, like I thought defensively, for the most part, everybody aside from those two was pretty solid to outright good. I thought RJ, to be honest, like I thought he was easily the best starter defensively in this game. And that was good to see. But yeah, like it was just a really weird game. And they didn't seem to match Miami's intensity until like end of the third quarter, and it was like, okay, finally they were like competing for loose balls. But I mean, there were too many stretches, and especially in that third quarter to begin, where like it felt like they were getting like 2 offensive rebounds on possessions, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah, I thought Hartenstein actually really turned the energy in the game. Like you could tell he like really brought the intensity. Idris did not want much to do with Hartenstein today. Bam is a fucking bitch. Fuck him. And his fucking moving screens.
Dude,
how has he not been called for a fucking moving screen this entire fucking series? Like it's insane. It is insane that he did not get called for one fucking.
Did you watch Cody Zeller?
Yeah, Cody Zeller was crazy. I could
Cody
not
Zeller was
believe it.
literally pushing dudes backwards.
Strus
wasn't getting called.
Strus had a play where he literally like walked 3 steps and had his elbow extended into Mitch. Like, if they're not gonna call this shit, I don't even like. It's beyond me. And I actually like. Look, I think the Knicks got a pretty fine whistle overall. But they literally would not have scored today. They would have scored like 80 points today if they called 20% of the moving screens they set. It was egregious. It was fucking egregious, some of the shit. And then they called that one on Mitch where Strus like runs in front of him. That was his third foul, right? That was fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, man. Spoelstra's an amazing coach, and he deserves a ton of credit for getting them to play the way they did tonight. But the shit they were getting away with today, like the level of physicality they're allowed to get away with is crazy. There was that play where fucking Julius tried to take that turnaround fade on the baseline, and Lowry like slapped down on the ball, and they were like, and they showed the replay, and who was on commentary? Was it Jim Jackson? That was he's like, oh, look at this fucking great swipe by Lowry. And they showed the replay. He literally rakes his arms against Randall's arms. Like,
was that the one where he made the face and he was like,
yes.
And they were like, oh, what a veteran savvy move. He knew where the ball was going to be. No, the ball was an extension of his arm, which he fucking slapped the shit out of. That's what it was.
Crazy. Like, I actually think I was surprised Randall's reaction was like what it was. He didn't
pretty calm.
Yeah, I was like, are you good, bro? Like,
that was a bit much. There were a couple times in this game where I thought things were going to get chippy, but they never did.
Yeah, I'm waiting. It's going to happen in Miami. It's definitely going to happen. This team is so fucking annoying, and they're so fucking grimy. Gabe Vincent can eat a fucking bag of dicks. Fuck that guy. Fuck Bam. I'm so sick of watching Bam. That guy, like, that fucking 4th foul they called on Mitch where he actually stuffed Bam was ridiculous. Like, I couldn't believe that. It was insane. Thankfully, I will say they did make up for it by not calling that by giving us that 24-second call. That was nice. But yeah, like I'm just so I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I don't understand how you cannot call some of these things. I get you're not going to call every moving screen, you know, like I'm not asking for that, but some of this stuff is so ridiculous that, like, if you're not going to call it, then what the fuck? Like, how can you even defend some of this shit? It's not possible.
I feel like the deeper we get into the playoffs, the more they're like inclined to let guys play through things. But it's like there's a certain point where it becomes egregious, and like I'm not seeing this in any of the other games with the moving screens.
And it's like if this is happening at home, then like on the road, it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, but our boy Scott came in clutch today.
Friend of the pod,
dude.
Scott Foster.
I don't know why people get worried when Scott Foster is coaching, or repping rather.
The extender? Come on, the extender did his job.
I told Tyrese before you got on, Schwinn, I said, we're on the right side of a Scott Foster masterclass, and I don't know how to feel about it.
I know exactly how to feel about it.
Well, yeah, we won this fucking game. First option, Bam Adebayo had 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. We should have blown these motherfuckers out.
Dude, because Max Strus somehow got possessed. Like, Max Strus and Caleb Martin sold their souls for game 2 for whatever reason. God. Fuck, man. I hate this game.
So the 3-point regression is going to happen, right?
I hope so. And like, they didn't even shoot well from 3. Like, we shot 40% from 3, and they shot 35%. But like, dude, it's just the
they had 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 5 guys make more than 2 threes. I mean, that was ridiculous.
And we had 4, to be fair. So like,
what happened? It didn't make sense to me at first, but I guess if they're hot right now and they're just going to get more shots the way they did, I guess it makes sense that they would keep shooting the way they are. But there's no way, like the third game, I doubt it.
I think what happened is they basically were just like, we're gonna lose this game anyway, so we might as well just go out guns blazing. And like they shot
Yeah,
39 the
we're
first
gonna
game.
go out shooting. Yeah.
Yeah, they shot 49 in this game. So like they basically were trying to win this game on variance.
I mean, how many did they shoot in the first quarter? Like 20? Felt
It might-
ridiculous.
It might have been 20, dude.
They committed very early to this strategy.
What
Like-
shooting threes, spamming threes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we do when like Brunson's out. Actually, we do that a lot.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. But like, oh my god, I just can't. Look, I'm actually kind of happy that we got this game. I mean, one, I'm happy, thrilled that we won the game, and two, I'm just happy that we like got this Butler absent game out of the way. I'm 100% sure if they were down 1-0, he would have played tonight. Like this was clearly, this really felt like a house money game, unless they're totally lying, by the way, which is possible. Because all I've been hearing for the last couple of days is like, oh, Jimmy is so fucking healthy. Never seen a healthier person than Jimmy Butler right now. He's moving so well, no limitations. Didn't play today, so maybe they're bullshitting, but I suspect that he just.
Well, the funniest thing was they literally tweeted a video and they're like, look, he's walking into MSG with no limp. And then 10 seconds later, it was like, Jimmy Butler's out today. Like, which one is it?
I mean, like I think he got. I mean, his ankle touched the earth. Like that was a bad sprain. That might be like high grade 1, maybe low grade 2. Like that looked bad, dude.
Vincent, by the way, like I saw there were a lot of people in our live chat. Hart had that foul on the Vincent 3, and there were a lot of people that were like, "What the fuck is Hart doing?" I don't think that's on Hart at all. One, Vincent like moves back into him, which is like that's not a natural shooting motion. If you called that in pickup, like you would get into a fight. And then on top of that, guess who set a moving screen there and gave Josh Hart a nice little love tap to push him into.
That was the one around the left side of the wing right there.
Yeah. And it was Bam. Of course it was Bam. Like between him and Cody Zeller, these fucking guys, man, it is crazy. Like I would, you know what? We need to just trade Mitchell Robinson to Miami so that he can experience what it's like to just be able to actually set the moving screens that he sets. Because they'll never call it on him if he wears a Miami Heat jersey. Like what the fuck was that shit, man? Okay, but Isaiah Hartenstein, what a performance.
7-foot Matthew Dellavedova. Yeah. He was everywhere.
This is his series. Like again, this is where depth. You have to use your depth. Like Cleveland was clearly a great matchup for Mitch. This is such a good matchup. This is not even like that it's a good matchup for Hartenstein. He's just better equipped for this matchup than Mitch is.
It requires functional passing, and it requires the ability to like extend out past the rim. And Hartenstein does both of those things, and
able to handle the ball. Yeah,
like Miami
shoot free throws.
Yeah,
like
yes, yeah.
I don't know about that.
Every time they shot a free throw, my grandmother's like, "Aw." I was like, "Yeah."
Dude, why does he shoot like it's like it looks like his shoulder is gonna fall off?
He's like, shooting like he's shooting a slingshot. It's just like
it's so weird, man. Oh my god.
But like this is a game where like they cannot rely on offensive rebounds to win it for them. And the way that Spo has been scheming against Josh Hart specifically, like if you remember game 1, they basically had Kevin Love throwing outlet passes in order to get Josh Hart to stop contesting rebounds. They were dropping our guard screens in order to make Hart shoot. And their game plan seems to be like stop the offensive rebounds stop the overload on offensive rebounds, and they're targeting Josh Hart in order to get him to do that. So like you cannot rely.
It's ironic because you can say he had as much a hand as anybody in putting them down tonight in the fourth quarter. Like he was everywhere.
Well, I think
2.5 minutes.
Well, I think so when he's I don't know if this was intentional or if it just happened during the flow of the game. He had like what 3 corner threes, 2 he made 2 in the fourth quarter.
Yes, he went 2 for 3, yeah.
Yeah, and like just in general, I think if you watched him in that fourth quarter, where he was lined up in half court sets, he was a lot of the times he was in the corner. Grimes was over in the top of the key, or he'd go to the opposite corner. But like the balance was better, and because he's in the corner, he can crash down because his man isn't going to leak out from the corner and get any like serious advantage in all likelihood. So I don't know if that was a conscious adjustment or not from Tibbs or from the players or whatever, but I thought that was a good look.
Obviously, it was a conscious adjustment by Tibbs.
Yeah, I mean, he's just
Come on.
fucking a master these things. But like, no, I don't care. I really don't care. I'll just fine. We can just give Tibbs credit. He's the coach, whatever. I thought that was good, and like he cashed in those 2 threes. The first one was fucking massive. They really did
Huge.
that.
Yeah.
And then the one he missed. I mean, he goes and gets like the ultimate man rebound. That was just like
He gets
ridiculous.
rebounds that break teams.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous rebound. And then if you watch him, after he like goes up, he missed the layup, right? Randall gets the ball, he gets fouled. But Hart's just screaming at the ref because I don't know, I couldn't fully see it on the replay. He like knocked over Lowry when he went up for the board.
Right.
I think Lowry might have been on the ground like grabbing at his leg or something.
Yeah, dude, Lowry has been grabbing at like legs and all their lower extremities all fucking series.
Lowry's been way too much.
And even there was one play in the first half where like I think Quickly was trying to go for an offensive rebound, and if you just watch it, Duncan Robinson is just like looking at him and bear hugging him in front of the ref, and I'm just like, what is going? Like, we're not like you have to call that. There are certain things you just have to call. Like you have to call that. You have to call plays where somebody's getting bear hugged. Like that's just how it works. But yeah, like the Knicks finally got they did get their offensive rebounding to make a difference in the fourth quarter, especially. And I do think that's in part just better spacing and stuff with Grimes. And I mean, and obviously it helped that Brunson was on such a heater that I think Miami was like really, really loading up on him. And that kind of left them short in a lot of other areas. So either way, it was a
bench RJ. How many minutes were left?
I don't know.
I don't even remember.
I can go check.
I'm wondering when we committed to that lineup to close out. Obviously, Mitch came in for Hart at one point, but that was interesting. Yeah, the Grimes stuff. He's just gonna have that shooter's gravity. Whether he's fucking. When's the last time he made a 3? I don't even know.
Yeah, Grimes hasn't made a 3 since that. No, he made a 3 last game. He made 1 3.
He made 1 3 in his 30 seconds on the floor. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I know there are a lot of people upset that RJ didn't close, and I get that because he played well. I have a really hard time getting upset about it, given that.
I mean, hindsight's 20/20. Who would you have subbed him for? Hart made every winning play down the stretch, and Grimes' gravity obviously was a big contributor to that. So you just kind of have to live with it.
I think his plan was to bring RJ back. I think his plan was to bring RJ back in, but then that lineup just got it going, and they cut the lead, and they ended up going on a 21-7 run to close the game, basically. But either way, like it's just once they got it going, I was kind of like, okay, like that's fine. Like I mean, I thought it was weird that he pulled Quickly when he did because it was finally like, oh, he made like I actually think Quickly realized his 3 is like obviously his 3 wasn't on at all. But if you look, both of his turnovers, right, were him trying to drive in, and all of his field goals today were shots inside. I think he's realized that, like, Miami is not trying. They're not going to send a lot of help at him. So if he gets inside, he can score pretty easily inside the arc. So I think that's actually a good thing that he recognized today. Wasn't great. Obviously, it was not good today, but if he can take that kind of acknowledgement and then just stop trying to Euro step, please. Like, stop trying. You don't need to force Euro steps. You don't need to, like.
The one where he put his elbow in Kyle Lowry's mouth.
No, that was Vincent, which was
Vincent,
also satisfying. But yeah.
I mean, obviously, yeah. But that was a dangerous play that could have gone the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but either way, like, I just thought, when he got pulled, I was like, that's weird. But I also didn't hate it because I was just like, okay, like, that's. Sometimes
he got pulled after he made the 2 buckets, right? And then they brought him back in after the one.
Well, they brought him back in for a free throw possession.
Yeah, we had to inbound it though too,
yeah.
Right? And they brought Quickly back in for that, which was really weird.
No, that made sense because that was a foul situation.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, I'm not. I thought it was a little bit weird people doing what he did, but I was fine with it. I thought it was a little bit weird RJ didn't come back in, but also like while it was happening, I was like, they're going on a run. I probably wouldn't fuck with this either. Like the one decision he made that I just really don't quite understand. It didn't burn us or anything, I guess, but was pulling Mitch or pulling Hartenstein for Mitch at the very end. That was
Right.
weird. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you have to rely more on Grimes and Hartenstein in this series. Like Robinson and Hart are great, and Hart made a bunch of hustle plays, but like you're gonna need more spacing out on the floor, and you're gonna need to make the get away from their base defense, which is the zone against us. So
Yeah, I don't think there's an argument for Hart starting at this point. I mean, I think everything he showed tonight is exactly why he shouldn't start. In my opinion.
Yeah, it just again, like I just can't understand why you want to fuck up like what was working. Like we know this was working all season. Like that basically the change of putting Grimes in the starting lineup is what triggered us, was one of the reasons that we turned our season around. So to go away from that now is just very odd. Like I mean, obviously when he was hurt, I get it because you just have to make some choice there. But now that
He
Grimes
played 25 minutes tonight. There's no reason why we couldn't have had him out the gate.
Yeah. Yep.
And I like that fit better for essentially what is our, set the tone offense early on. Grimes is always going to be a better fit than Hart. If Hart closes over Grimes, that's one thing. But yeah, I'm with you. I think at this point it's probably better. I don't think Tibbs will do the change after winning a game. What do you think? I'd be shocked.
I don't know, man. I don't really. I hope he does because I really think like you're gonna lose the series if you keep doing this. And I was thinking about this, how like this feels so much to me like that 2013 series against the Pacers, where I will forever believe that we were the better team and that Woodson's decisions throughout with coaching were very problematic. On top of Tyson Chandler being sick all the time because he's a fucking loser. But like I remember in that series, remember we went big in like game 4, was it? Where he started Kmart with Chandler and it was like, why the fuck are we doing that? It was just a weird thing. And like I can't shake this feeling of like, well, why are we starting Hart with RJ? Like there's enough evidence now that we can safely say that is not a particularly effective combination.
Well, like in Cleveland, we were like kicking ass for the last 2 games with that, which is fine, but we're not doing that now.
But it wasn't even kicking ass that much. Like the minutes of RJ and Hart have just not actually been that good throughout the playoffs. And it's like the minutes we were winning were the minutes where they weren't together. Not to say that either of them was bad individually, but like they're better apart than they are together. Like yeah, sure there'll be random games where you can go to that. I'm sure, right? Where it's just like working. Like there was that Denver game earlier this season where we closed to those guys and it worked. So it's obviously like, you go by how the game is going, right? But you just gotta.
This man Sam Hinkie just tweeted. I cannot.
That's nasty.
He tweeted the "Pursuit of Happiness" clip where Will Smith is walking out into the crowd.
Your MVP is accepting his award in street clothes. Who cares? Oh my god. Also, why would you remind me about that 2013 series? That was unnecessary.
I know. That was like, I don't think anybody needed that.
Like, I don't need a Roy Hibbert moment, please.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that's the feeling I get though. I'm like, you're creating your own problems. You're creating your own problems.
Yeah. Like, it needs to be Hart or RJ, and it can't be both. And I don't know why you would start Hart over RJ, given how well RJ's been playing.
No, yeah. RJ, again, like Swin said, I think best starter from the defensive end because Mitch never gave us a chance to even see what the fuck he was going to do because he fouled the fuck up. But RJ's playing too well right now. And Hart is such an interchangeable piece if there's going to be a change. I mean, and I'm never willing to commit to that idea with Tibbs. But if there is, obviously Hart needs to go back to the bench.
Also, hell, like just do if John Hart could just do this just off the bench, then like it benefits.
But he can, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like we know that he can. So like, why is it so hard to make this leap?
I don't know. I don't know, man. Tom Thibodeau is going to go down with the ship, and the ship is going to be falling because Tom Thibodeau wants it to fall. That's kind of what I'm taking from this. Like, if he lets himself get out coached to the degree that he's getting out coached in these first two games, like I tweeted about it earlier. I was just like you cannot let yourself get out coached like this, given the talent advantage that you have. You're not maximizing talent right now. Meanwhile, Spo is running circles around you and maximizing guys like fucking Hayward Highsmith.
I was about to say Hayward Highsmith was making plays tonight. There's not a bigger testament to the deficiency between the two coaches.
Yeah, like
than Hayward Highsmith making plays.
Again, like you can't tell me that like if we have Spoelstra, this is a sweep for us. Like that's like Tibbs doesn't need to win the coaching matchup because guess what? Nobody wins the coaching matchup against Spo. He's
just
the
don't
best.
lose it.
Yeah, no, just don't do stupid shit. That is like I don't need him to be some genius schematic coach in the series, like cooking up amazing pivots. Like, no, just fucking don't do stupid shit. Like, this is not that difficult. Like, you don't like go. You know that rotation that worked, and we were like on a 60-win pace after the Josh Hart trade. Go do that. Stick to that. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to do a fucking damn thing else. It's like crazy to me. It is so bizarre to watch. Like I just am so flabbergasted by it. It's crazy.
Yep. Like it's just so unforced, and it makes everybody's job harder. And like, I just do not like. How do you walk away from this game feeling good about it? Like you won, you won a great job, but
yeah.
Come on.
There's no way. I mean, the only person that should feel good about this game is Randall and Barrett. I wouldn't even say Brunson should.
Hartenstein?
Yeah, fair enough. Hartenstein as well.
I think Hart should feel fine about his game today.
Hart played fine given the
Okay, yes, fine. Hart as well. Anybody else? Should Trevor Keels feel good about his game tonight?
I mean, Quentin Grimes played fine.
Yeah, I mean, I would, dude. Grimes, like, why is he playing hot potato out there? That fucking pass. Why are you passing it to Mitch? Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, if you wanted to pass it, he had fucking Josh Hart wide open in the opposite corner. Instead, he tries to throw this ridiculous lob to Mitch. It's like, dude, they're trying to foul you. You really want to give it to your center who, like, shoots 47% from the free throw line? Get fucking real, dude. Like, grow a fucking pair and just hold on to the ball there if that's what it's going to be. Like, that was ridiculous. He just needs to be more, like, I mean, I get it. This is his first playoffs. It's basically his first time really closing a playoff game. I guess second time, right? He closed game 1 against Cleveland. So it's a big moment. I understand that. So I'm like, I get it. It's like, but in real time, I'm just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing right now? But he's just got to play with a little bit more confidence. There were a couple of times he was open and he just didn't do anything with the ball. And then he had to, like, fucking throw it back out to Julius at the top of the key. So he's just got, and I think playing more will probably help him. So I'm pretty optimistic that he'll come around. But yeah, like, I don't know what some of the Grimes offensive decision making was very questionable, but there's, that's kind of part of what you're going to get with the first year or second year player making his first playoff appearances, right? So it is what it is. They just really need him they need him and Quickly really to find their strokes. I actually liked all the threes that Quickly took today, which was like, he has to take those shots. He just got to make them. I mean, there's really, to me, like, I don't know what else to really say other than that. Just like make threes. So that is what it is. And I will say this to give Tim some credit. I liked that when Quickly was on today, he kind of forced him to be the creator, like the way they were using him. So that was good. And also credit to Tibbs to start the game. I thought it was really good to see how much of the focus of the game plan was to get RJ and Randall going, because like we talked about this on the pod and we talked about this on the rundown after the last game. the offense has been way, way too Brunson centric over the last 3 or 4 games. So, shifting that back to a more normal split, normal distribution was good. So I think he deserves credit for that. That was a good adjustment, a necessary adjustment that needed to be made. And then, look, it's the good part about that is what? Now Brunson's a lot more fresh in the second half and he can close the fucking game for you.
Yeah, like I think the way to describe the dynamic between Brunson and Randall is like checks and balances. I think if you let Randall do too much as a ball handler, then like he gets sloppy, he makes really bad decisions. Like he's not going to be 2021 Randall, not in terms of his shooting, but like in terms of like his playmaking, his ability to facilitate. Like he's not putting up 17 assists to 2 turnovers like he did again in that game against the Magic. Like that's not happening. But at the same time, with Brunson, it's like Brunson gets to the thing where like he thinks he's mini Luka, and he kind of just tries to run heliocentric ball, and he's not good enough of a passer to run heliocentric ball. So I think what Brunson does is Brunson is able to get the ball back from Randall and put him in better spots, and Randall's able to take the ball from Brunson and make it so that Brunson has to do stuff off ball, and he has to be able to like make those extra passes to Randall because Randall commands that gravity. So checks and balances, I feel like they fit well together. And yeah, that's all you need them to do. Just do the little things.
All right.
RJ's mental makeup is insane. After a down reg season to come out and play like this on the biggest stage of 22 is crazy. Yeah, I think RJ played a really, really good game. 5 threes! 5 threes! Oh my god, the flood has ended. Great day. Yeah, he was big. He was big time. I liked all of his minutes, honestly. Like the one play that I hated was like when he got the offensive rebound, he tried to go for that putback over 3 dudes. That made no sense to me. But otherwise, like I liked all of his minutes. I liked the way he played. I liked how simple his shot chart was realistically. It was just to the rim. And if it wasn't to the rim, it was off threes. He had that one like step back mid-range shot that just clanked, and that should not be happening. But otherwise, like, good game all around from him. Like, can't really complain about RJ. If he can hit threes, it changes the dynamic of the team drastically. So,
yeah, I mean, if RJ plays the way he has in the playoffs, I really have pretty much no interest in making any significant changes this offseason.
Right.
agreed.
Yeah, like I think maybe the one thing you do is move Obi, but we'll see. I don't know. I like the more I think about this and the more the way they've operated, I could totally just see them being like, no, we kind of like Obi. We'll just keep him around. We'll figure it out later when there's a move
He's
we
a
really
good
like.
kid. Yeah,
Like
fuck it.
I don't think they'll just trade Obi to like because they think they should like they need to trade him. I don't think they'll do that. I think if they can't get something legitimately good for Obi, they're way more likely to just hold on to him and give him a contract and figure it out later or something. Like that's just kind of how they've operated, right? Like they keep guys they like, they figure it out as they go on. And that would make some sense to me. But Obi should probably play defense better than he played tonight. That would be nice. This was like his worst defensive game in a long time, though, to be fair.
Yeah,
This was
like,
like really, really bad.
Like,
since like before the leg break. What's up?
Drew Hanlon.
Oh, Drew. Oh,
Let's give credit where it's due.
Joel Embiid won MVP, and RJ Barrett said, "What about me? Save me a spot."
Chill.
I think. I mean, we're not going to talk Obi. I don't really want
There's
to talk
nothing to
Obi.
say. He had an awful stretch, and it was
Yeah.
bad. It was like rookie Obi.
He was just he's flying all over the place, which is a good thing, but he's jumping at random, like every pump fake. And he was just none of his rotations made any sense. There was that one in the first half, right, where he's like, just his man cuts baseline, completely lost him. Then he recovers late, jumps in the air, and then he gives up an and one. It's like, dude, if you're gonna foul him, at least just fucking foul him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Whatever. We won the game.
A win is a win.
down bad take. Can the Knicks win the series? Yes, if they don't play like idiots and Tom Thibodeau doesn't coach like an idiot. The Knicks will beat themselves if they lose the series. Like I think there's too much of a talent gap. There's too much of a talent gap, and again, if we were to run down the top 10 players in the series, the Knicks have at minimum 6 and probably 7.
But that's my thing when I talk about. I tweeted tonight like we're the better team, and everybody freaked the fuck out. Like, no, we are the better team. Number one.
I said it this morning, and people were like, "Oh, Spo's the best coach in the league. How are you gonna get mad at Tom Thibodeau lose?" Dude, Tom Thibodeau has the better team. If he loses due to coaching, that's an indictment on Tom Thibodeau. Because now it comes down to it doesn't matter how talented your team is, he's just going to lose you games.
To Schwinn's end, this is a sweep with Spoelstra at the helm.
Like, you can get mad at Budenholzer losing that series in 5, but like at least he has the excuse of like, okay, Giannis didn't play.
And Chris Middleton's got one knee. Yeah.
And Drew Holiday in the playoffs.
5 for 23.
Exactly. And like you can at least say Jimmy Butler had to go supernova to give that team even a shot. Like he had to average 38 in the playoff series on like 65 true shooting, which is insane. If we lose and Jimmy Butler's putting up like 25, 27 PPG, sorry, that's horrible. That's horrible. That means that you let their role players win, and the whole point of this team was depth. So if their depth is beating you, that looks bad on you.
Their shooting was obviously where it was tonight, but I really didn't love like that we didn't capitalize on Bam being the clear cut, route for them offensively in every fucking facet and every set.
Also, Bam is going to be a non-factor offensively in the series. I'm convinced.
We just didn't abuse him the way we should have. I thought Tibbs would see the obvious opportunity there to kind of just lock him up and make everyone else work for it.
Yeah, Bam doesn't want to shoot. Bam does not want to shoot. The fact that Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Caleb Martin all took more shots than him, shows you Bam is not going to be torching you offensively this game. He has 7 free throws and
10 shots as their best player on the floor. He took 10 shots.
That guy offensively is not giving you anything. And defensively, he's okay. I wasn't feeling Bam Adebayo's DPOY defense apparently. Julius Randle had his way with them. Realistically. So
outside of moving screens, what did you think of Bam, Schwinn?
Idris?
Fuck you.
I don't know, man. I'm so unimpressed with him most of the time. I don't know. Maybe I just maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. But I felt like, man, you don't have fucking Jimmy. I feel like he did not do enough today. But they ran a really weird offensive game plan. They used him a lot more as a screener and a passer as a roll man, so maybe that was part of it. But, how many points did he even have today? 15 or something? 15, 16 points?
15.
Yeah, you'd think he'd put up more shots with Jimmy out. That was pretty weird, I thought.
Tyrese, highlight this comment from Knicks tape at 11:04. That's an excellent comment. And John Collins.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That is excellent. That is excellent.
Yeah, just disappointing, overpaid big dudes who should be way more than they are, but are not. And especially in Bam's case, he just cries about not being Defensive Player of the Year and then throws up eggs, and it's dude, who cares? Bam has been garbage, and he's gonna blame it on this stupid hamstring issue that is not that much of an issue. And I'm just not. He's not a threat. I'm sorry. I don't think he's a threat. He requires so much from his ball handlers, and it just kind of feels like if Jimmy is going to be going off like this, then I don't know. I just think the Knicks should be able to win this series in 6 because they're the better team. If Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent are your second and third options, you should not be losing this series. And if you do lose this series, again, that is coaching.
Okay. Tyrese, I think this is when you pull comments up, dude.
I have been pulling up comments.
Producer Reese.
Dominating just to get something to the bench every time out. Do all of you use Press Zoom? Strickland secret.
Yes.
We're not even on Zoom.
We're on Streamlabs. Miami's role players should go one before the game. Dude, I'm telling you, they do some kind of satanic rituals in South Beach. Because there's no way that dudes off the bench should be giving me this kind of production in a playoff series. What did Gabe Vincent shoot in the fourth quarter? 'Cause I feel like that was a heater. He had 13 points in the fourth quarter.
Gabe Vincent?
Yes.
Yeah, shoot, some of those threes he was making were such bullshit too. Like, what the fuck? That one he made over Hartenstein was ridiculous. He had that one. There was that one. Was that in the third quarter or the fourth quarter, where like Randall got switched onto him, and then for some reason Randall just decided that he didn't stay awake at all on defense. He just had his hands down, was kind of like chilling, and Vincent was just like, okay, I guess I'll just shoot this now. Like, he drained that. That was a really weird one. Yeah, I mean, there were just some fucking really bizarre defensive sequences, not just from not Randall specifically, just in general. There were a lot of weird defensive brain farts. That one at the end of the first half drove me fucking nuts.
Dude, I was heated.
That was so again, Brunson was awesome in the third and fourth quarter offensively. His defense today was an abomination. Like and it was terrible in the first game too. I don't expect him to be a lockdown defender. I need you to not make stupid mistakes. Like, first of all, you're fucking 5'10". Can we stop having him like help on drives? What is he gonna do? What is Jalen Brunson gonna affect when somebody's driving?
Guarding Duncan Robinson in the third quarter.
I have no idea. That's a good question.
Notably, Robinson I think had 2 3-pointers.
I mean, Robinson got wide open on one because Obi, I don't know what he was doing. He like was under a screen. No, actually, no, that was the Brunson one. I think Brunson was in the paint and he was like yelling at somebody. I'm like, dude, that's your man. Like, go defend somebody, anybody. Yeah, it was a very weird, very, very weird stretch for him.
Yeah, but offense, he put ball in hoop, so he'll take it, I guess.
It was nice to see him have a heater stretch.
Yeah, I really never thought I would see a 5-game stretch from RJ that he could average 24, 6, and 3 on 62 true shooting and solid defense at the regular season he had. True, which really makes me upset that like this wasn't here for 1 through 82, but like better late than never. Like I just kind of feel like long term, but all three of those guys can give you this kind of production that like I'm not really interested in the trades. You tell OJ to just stay across the border. That's why I have 2K. Great commentary, guys. Thanks.
I don't know what you want us to say when you just say things.
I don't know, man.
Talking. You've hosted this before. Host.
I haven't hosted this before.
Okay, well, fucking learn, pal. Can't just depend on Sam to carry you all the time.
Right?
Sam makes the show sick. Let's talk about it quickly, Arslan. What's going on? I think
he missed threes today. That's it. That's what happened.
I think he played better today. I do think he's been like picking up his dribble a decent amount. I do feel like he hasn't been as sharp with his decision making, but ultimately I do feel like he played fine today.
He didn't pick up his dribble today. That was actually he didn't. Like that's the one thing he didn't.
No, I'm saying like throughout like the playoff run. So
yeah, that's why I'm like actually encouraged by this game today. While I don't think he had a good game, I think there were good signs there. He put the ball on the deck 4 or 5, 6 times and got himself good offense. He got good shots inside the arc. So the 2 turnovers I'm fine with. That seems like he's got to realize that maybe they're sitting on the Euro step. And also
understand Tiz's relationship with Quickly. I don't know if I ever will. I know he wasn't hitting threes, and I guess, but like I thought we were past him getting the Obi treatment, where it's like if you don't make threes, get off the floor.
It's Josh Hart. It's
Josh Hart. Yeah.
He's got a way too like. I'm like actually very, very worried about this now because if he just can't, like, I'm sorry, but you can't just not, and it's not just quickly. It's all these, like, Grimes gets affected by this, RJ gets affected by this. Like, these guys, you can't not, you cannot just like cut all their minutes to accommodate your desire to play Josh Hart 40 fucking. How many minutes did Josh Hart play today?
32.
He only played 32. Wow, that's amazing because it felt like he was out there for like 70 minutes.
Because in the first half he got benched for however long because it just was not working.
Yeah, he was not good in the first. He also was just not good in the
So like
first.
he figured it out, and then somehow he was just like, you know what? Nah.
The thing that drives me nuts too is he didn't make a sub until like 7.5 minutes into the third quarter. Like what are you watching? Like, can you just, like, we all see you? I know he sees it too. Like, how can you not see that? It's not like just make a fucking sub, dude. It's not gonna kill you. And meanwhile, you've got Spoelstra, like he's already made like 6 subs in the quarter. Like, it's just so insane to watch the discrepancy between Tibbs and some of these things and Spoelstra. But yeah, I'm again like this quickly thing is, this conversation is so weird. Like, if he didn't have a good season, I would probably understand this.
Right.
But like, he had a good season. And now the discussion is also like, oh, he's just been terrible all playoffs, which I also don't get. Like, I'm like, he played well in a few games against Cleveland. Like, he hasn't been consistent, that's for sure. He has not been able to kind of find any rhythm. It doesn't feel like, even when he have a good game and then he can't put it together with a second consecutive good game. So I get that, but like, I don't really. I think the conversation with him and with the Grimes, where it's like, oh, is he ever going to make a 3 again? And it's like, is that really how we're going to discuss basketball in 2023? Where it's like, oh, well, he didn't make a 3. Why is he even out there? It's like, well, I don't know. I guess we saw today why he's out there, even when he doesn't make 3s sometimes. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we should be pretty happy. If anything, the fact that like Randall struggled for a while too, and then today he got his shit back. Like, I'm not watching. Like, I'll put it this way: I would feel very differently if I was watching quickly and I thought he's choking. Like, I'm watching quickly and I feel like he's missing shots. And I thought before this game was actually, again, this was the first game all since game 1 probably of the playoffs where I thought Tibbs actually put an onus on him to create shots. I think it was a good adjustment. I think it's probably going to help quickly.
Talk about quickly? Yeah.
I think
too, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a good adjustment from Tibbs, and I think that probably will help quickly, and it'll help the team too. It should help him get into a rhythm. So that was good. And in general, I actually thought the offensive strategy today overall, from start to finish, was pretty solid. It just, the spacing stuff with Hart is just so weird that, like, I don't really know what to do with that.
Yeah. Similar questions. Is the Josh Hart obsession getting into Alec Burks territory, or was it worse? It's getting into like Luol Deng territory.
Nah, it's not even the same. Like, I know we're in the playoffs and whatnot, but like Josh Hart, at least, like, we have an empirical amount of data that he makes this team better. Everything's going to be matchup based, but at least Josh Hart is like, would be a role player on so many other teams in the NBA. Alec Burks, I don't know if I can say the same. Like, at least not to the same degree where he would get.
Alec Burks is a 14 PPG 62 shooting wing. He will have
the playoffs.
He was fine in the playoffs. He just.
I mean, he had one good game in the playoffs.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, like the entire team had like one good game in the playoffs. So.
Well, his good game was a game we didn't win. So.
He should have won that game anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think Burks was good for us. So, again, this is just like one of those things where he's a good player. Josh Hart's a really good player, but you don't need to treat him like Michael Jordan. Like, it's okay if Josh Hart comes off the bench because that's what he was brought here to do. Like, I just don't really know why we need to reinvent the wheel when what we were doing was working well.
So well.
Yeah, I just don't get it. And I think there's trickle-down effects on the rest of the roster, starters and bench guys. You know, it's hard to parse through all that, but like, I mean, shit, you went from having like Josh Hart helped your bench be super productive, even more productive than it was. And on top of that, like you don't need like what do you have him in the starting lineup for, right? Oh, his defense. Okay, well Grimes plays good defense. Like Grimes plays good defense, so you don't need Josh Hart out there for that. Grimes gives you spacing. Josh Hart doesn't give you that spacing. Do you really need Hart's like secondary playmaking significantly in that starting lineup?
Josh Hart doesn't give you shooter's gravity, but he still gives
Yeah.
you spacing, as is evident by tonight.
I don't think that's accurate. I think if you don't create space, then how are you giving spacing?
But
But like I think like it just makes sense. And then what Hart does actually helps elevate the second unit too. So it just to me, you're not getting the benefit. There's no real significant benefit you're getting from starting Hart, and then you're also muting the impact of when your reserves come in. So I don't really get that. To me, it's a very strange decision.
Yep.
again, that's his muse. This is Tibbs doing what he does, which is obsess.
Something looking for RJ Barrett was healthy down the stretch, but it was both the way the defense was unfolding. The Knicks wanted a different matchup. Like at this point, he's kind of just like getting to the conclusion that Grimes should be on the court with one up Josh Hart or RJ Barrett. Maybe you should just have a lineup like that most of the time, if not all of the time, and maybe they should start the game, and maybe you should call it something like a starting lineup. I don't know, man. What do I know?
Why did somebody ask him if RJ like was there any
Oh,
indication that RJ was not healthy? Like what the fuck kind of question is that?
Weird.
Yeah. Oh, confirmed RJ. Was anybody worried that RJ wasn't healthy? Like what the fuck?
RJ pouting.
I mean, if he was, it's fine. As long as he doesn't cry about it.
Just give us 30 next game, dude. It's cool.
I love that Melo was in the building. Schwinn probably hated it, but it was nice.
We almost choked it like Melo would do back in the day. See, Jalen Brunson was able to get it done when Melo wasn't able to. Good on him.
All right, we don't play until Saturday. Everybody's going to play. Do we win one in Miami? Yes or no?
We win one in Miami, but like how we win it, I'm not sure. Like Jimmy Butler's still good.
Everything.
I think Jimmy was more compromised than they're letting on. Like I think if he plays as a game time decision, and like even if he does play, I don't think he's going off for more than like 22. Like his game involves a lot of like cutting and movement and absorbing contact, and he's going to have to take punishment on that ankle. And he isn't going to be able to do much as a jump shooter. So like I can see us winning game 3, losing game 4, and then getting home court advantage for game 5. That's kind of where I'm at.
I think if you ask me, I would say we probably win game 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like game 3 is probably the game we win, and then game 4.
Mostly because I just don't trust Tibbs to adjust to anything ever.
Yeah. If we win both games in Miami, though, the series is over.
Well, yeah. The biggest thing is we're just not going down there 0-2 because that would have been a wrap with a bow.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go down 0-2. I feel like game 3, especially like Saturday night, like I expect there to be a lot of Knicks fans there. So that might be a sizable crowd of Knicks fans. Jalen Brunson's the first Knicks to have a 30-point game at Madison Square Garden in the playoffs since Carmelo Anthony in 2013. Yes. Good for Jalen Brunson. Good for him.
It was an ugly 30 ball at moments.
It wasn't even an ugly 30. Like offensively, it wasn't ugly. Defensively, it was ugly. But like that was an efficient and ethical 30 ball. Oh, yeah. All right. Guess we'll just end it here.
Why are we ending it here?
I don't. We're just.
Host the fucking show, Tyrese. Get off Twitter.
Oh my god.
We
Jesus.
see you. We know you're on Twitter because
Oh
we're
my
on
god.
Twitter, but it doesn't matter because we're not hosting.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Fine. RJ and Hot shot 7 of 13 from 3 tonight, and we barely beat Miami. So I need to tell Tibbs that 3-point shooting tonight was an anomaly. I don't know if it was an anomaly, much of it was just like I don't think that's much of an anomaly.
I mean,
Like-
they were leaving us wide open. At some point, guys are going to hit shots.
Yeah, at some point you're going to you're going to hit shots and you're going to be able to take advantage of that. Like RJ hit 5 threes tonight, but like maybe next game Quentin Grimes hit shots. I feel like Emmanuel quickly might hit shots as well. Like I think our variance in shots is much more wide than their variance because like Gabe Vincent went 4 of 12, Duncan Robinson went 3 of 8, Max Strus went 3 of 7, Caleb Martin went 4 of 8, dude. Like, so I kind of feel like we have more ways to get our threes.
I'm also just not sure that we've shot like crap the entire playoffs. At some point, we're gonna have positive regression. So maybe that some of that was tonight. Like I don't know. I don't really. I mean, if positive anomalies can be both positive and negative, so like it can't just be that when something is outlier good that it's like, well, this is an anomaly, can't depend on it. But when it's outlier bad, we're like everything sucks, we're terrible, everybody's terrible. Quickly's awful. RJ will never make another 3 again. Randall sucks. Like
Trey Brunson.
Yeah, like it's just guys. Like guys are gonna make threes eventually. I mean, Brunson. Yeah, Brunson was shooting 23% from 3 before today. It was expected he would shoot well eventually. I was actually looking at this because I was curious. Like when Toronto won the championship a few years ago, I remember Fred VanVleet was like awful for the first 7 or 8 games of the playoffs, and then he like started hitting threes all of a sudden. And it was just like, oh, yeah, like that's what happens. Like guys will start making threes probably if they have track records of making threes. Like we've seen this with Grimes this season. We've seen this quickly this season. We've seen it with various players where it's like over the long haul, you'd expect guys to shoot probably close to their percentages. And the shots we were missing were not bad shots. They were good shots. It's not like it's not like it was a bunch of off the dribble threes, right? So I still feel I don't think this was an anomaly. I think what you could say specifically might be an anomaly is, yes, is RJ Barrett going to go 5 of 9 from 3? Is Brunson going to go 6 of 10? Is Hart going to go 2 for 4? Probably not. But as a team to go 16 of 40 for a game, like I don't think that's that crazy. I mean, if you missed one, yeah, and if we missed one more 3, it would have been what, like 37.5% or something. Like, Is that really that outrageous that we would have one decent shooting game from 3? I don't think so. I think an anomaly is more like, did you shoot 45%, 50% from 3? I mean, Miami's entire first round series was a fucking shooting anomaly. So,
yeah,
if anything, I would say that we've weathered a storm a little bit. And man, like I know this was a very ugly game, and it's one of those weird ones, but like these games are just weird, man. Fucking Boston lost yesterday to the Sixers without Embiid. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, Boston also sucks. So
yeah, I mean they also had their entire team. I don't think Boston sucks. Come on, grow up. But like they had their entire team and they lost to the Sixers without Embiid. Like these games are weird. I do think the Knicks kind of felt the pressure at times tonight because, yeah, I think Randall said something in this postgame echoing this, but like, yeah, they didn't have Jimmy. They could just play free. There was no pressure on them. There was nothing for them to lose. It was all for the Knicks to lose today. They got it done in the end, and they won by 6 points. Wasn't beautiful, wasn't pretty how they got there. God knows that Julius Randle wanted to make it interesting down the stretch, but yeah, I mean, look, they got it done, and if anything, I'm encouraged because you needed to see Julius Randle have a big game like he had today. 25 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, only 3 turnovers. That was good. Obviously, Brunson getting his 3-point shooting down was good to see. Hart near triple-double. Weird way to get it, but he did nearly get a triple-double. RJ, 24 points, 17 shots, 5 and 9 from 3. you want the bench to be better, but like, Grimes had a good impact when he was on the floor, right? Hartenstein was awesome when he was on the floor. So, yeah, I'm not going to say I feel great going into game 3 or 4. I mean, but I feel good about certain things that we saw tonight. I'm really just mostly
everyone will feel a lot better.
Yeah, I'm mostly just concerned about how Tibbs is setting up the rotations more than anything else. That's my primary concern, because I think if we go back to the shit that was working really well, we'll be fine.
So Brunson's defensive struggles. We still played 9 guys. I sincerely think there were moments where McBride probably could have gotten tagged in.
I don't understand why Brunson is playing 41 minutes off of a sore ankle, or 40 minutes off a sore ankle. I kind of just feel like Quickly played 9 minutes tonight.
Yeah, he played 5 in the first half, 4 in the second.
And I'm kind of just like, why? What is this disparity for?
Maybe tonight specifically, it's more Quickly, but McBride looked fine in the fucking Cleveland series. Like, he looked good.
Yeah, like, I think especially when it's Gabe Vincent and Kyle Lowry, like, I feel like that's a series to use McBride in, because you're not thinking about like star guards.
But that's what I'm saying. And throw an unknown quantity, maybe not like completely unknown, but something different at Spoelstra and like Miami when we get there, like that would be nice.
I think you just need a game breaker at some points, and Tibbs has some wild cards, and I kind of feel like he can use them, but he just refuses to use them.
Evan Fournier, could we see him in Game 4?
No.
Who knows?
I hope not.
He's ready if needed.
Get unready. Like, I don't even want him in warm-ups, dude. If I have to watch Evan Fournier play minutes that are not garbage time, like, I'm gonna puke.
Evan Fournier is not playing.
Thank you.
It's a joke. Gosh, man.
Make it funnier.
That's fair.
Deuce could probably thwart the moving screens. I kind of just feel like Deuce had the talk.
Jalen's not doing.
Like, yeah, honestly, play Deuce, and if you're gonna like do 2 ball handling things, like you might like, and if you don't trust Quickly right now, why not just play Brunson and Deuce together for like a stretch, even like a 3-minute stretch?
This is stupid. Like, he shouldn't do that either. If he doesn't trust Quickly right now, that's his fucking problem. Like, we're gonna fucking start benching guys as we're about to go into an offseason where it can be extended. No, get the fuck out of here with that.
I'm not saying bench him.
But then what do we then? Why we don't need to play Deuce? He just needs to like not be fucking this insane with his minutes. Like, you can play. He's again now decided that Quickly and Brunson can't play together. Look at the fucking midgets they were running out there today. Vincent, fucking, Caleb Martin is not exactly the biggest dude in the world. You can get away with playing your fucking lineup that was awesome all regular season. You're allowed to do that in the postseason too. I don't really get this like aversion to doing things that were working well in the regular season in the playoffs at all. Like, it's just wild to me to see some of these weird decisions he's making. The team is good enough that you can get away with it at times, but like, man, I don't even like. I'm not even that upset about Quickly's minutes tonight. Like, I kind of understand it, but I like Brunson playing 39 minutes. There's got to, like, you know how you could avoid that, even if you don't really trust Quickly right now. Bring him in sooner when Randall and RJ are in the game. So you don't, guess what? You don't have to run your offense through Quickly. You don't need Quickly to be some dynamic drive and kick player or something in that scenario. You can still run the offense through them, and you're going to give Brunson some rest. And then Brunson can come back in and help fucking lift your bench unit too if you want. Like, this is not rocket science. He doesn't have to like treat this like he played RJ, Randall, Brunson the entire third quarter. And I don't think RJ came out at the start of the fourth quarter, right? He was on the floor.
No, he's essentially playing like 2 16-minute stretches.
Yeah, like, this is just stupid. You don't need to fucking do this shit. And honestly, it's if you only trust your starters that much, why are you ever having stretches where like none of them are on the floor? Like, this stuff is not hard. And it's more frustrating because he figured it out in the regular season, and we were all like, wow, this is great. Tibbs is like really learned. He's adapted. And all of a sudden, we have a couple injuries and now his brain is broken again. Like, come on, man. Like, why are we doing this? Just go back to the fucking shit that was working, and then it's so much easier. If you go back to how starting Grimes, it is so much easier at that point to then adjust during the course of a game. But the way he's doing it now is just so ass backwards. I just can't wrap my brain around it. It's so mind-boggling to me to watch some of this shit. And like again, on the other end, you have Spoelstra, who's the best coach in the league. You don't need to give him you can't afford to give him any margins. You can't afford to give him any margins. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think Tibbs has just broken my brain to answer your question.
Yeah, I just do not understand why you're trying to put yourself on an 8 ball. And to your point, that third quarter, yeah, Brunson, Julius, RJ all played. Josh Hart played 9 minutes in that third quarter as well. I think the first sub was Hartenstein for Mitch. So it's like, what are you doing there? And I think it's because Mitch picked up his 4th foul. So, and if Mitch didn't pick up his 4th foul, he might have ran like maybe 3 other dudes. He probably would have ran Josh Hart like another 12. Like I cannot understand why his rotations are so rigid, and you're just playing shifts. Like we're back to like the whole shift thing again, and it's like you're doing it with 9 guys. How are you playing shifts with 9 guys?
It's just I really don't. It's weird. Like I don't personally feel this was some like disastrous coaching performance from Tibbs, but the way he's starting the game is like the fundamental issue. So he's already like, it's really hard to figure out how I feel about his coach. I mean, wasn't great. He figured it out in the 4th quarter, I guess. So credit to him. But like, I just, again, you can't fuck around like this against Eric Spoelstra. Like the guy is the best coach in the league. He wins the margins. Like you can't afford to punt things that are entirely under your control. This is not a tactical thing. This is not adjusting to some genius, coaching maneuver by Spoelstra. This is literally about just play the fucking rotations and lineups that were crushing teams. Literally, we're crushing teams. Just do that. You don't need to do much more than that. It's okay.
Crushing this team even.
Yeah. Crush this team. Crush the Celtics. Crush the Cavs. It's just, I don't know. It's really, really weird to me. The other weird thing, too, is like, people are like, oh, like game 3, right? Grimes gets hurt in that game. We blew that game open before Grimes got hurt. So, like, it's not like it was a tight game. Josh Hart comes in and then all of a sudden we take off. No, like we had already blown the game open when Grimes got hurt. So you don't need to, like, pretending like he wasn't part of that. It's kind of like what it feels like, right? With the decisions he's making, it almost feels like Grimes has to earn like this. It just feels like Grimes and Quickly now all of a sudden are having to earn his trust again. And I don't get that at all. I just don't. I'm sorry. Like
that's my point. Quickly.
Could you imagine if Gabe Vincent
shorter, which is weird when he was our 3rd best player to close the season?
If Gabe Vincent was on, like, you can't tell me Gabe Vincent would be playing with the type of confidence he is right now or have the leash he does. It just wouldn't have happened. So it's just weird to me. Like, and we know that Tibbs has depended on Quickly before too. So it's like, I don't know. I can't even like try to wrap my brain around some of the stuff with it's all like Josh Hart related too. And it's so weird because I love Josh Hart, but then I'm like, why are you using him and depending on him the way you are? Please stop doing that.
I'm telling you, like it kind of just feels like you have to choose between Josh Hart and RJ Barrett at some point, and it sucks that that's actually a possibility.
No, that's like this is stupid. Like this is that no, that's not how you should. That they don't need to make a choice.
No, I'm saying when Tibbs is coaching, it kind of feels like he's choosing between.
Then he shouldn't be coaching. Like if that is how all of a sudden the organization has to start thinking, then they should actually be like, well, I guess as good a job as Tibbs has done this year, he's not the guy long term. Like. And I'm not even saying that's I don't really care to discuss that right now because we're in the middle of a playoff series. But you can't these decisions he's making are so inane. I mean, even the Mitch thing today was weird, where it's like, Hartenstein's crushing it. Why are you bringing Mitch back into this game? And I think they both had 5 fouls at that point, so it's not like that was much of a fucking factor in the
Mitch
decision.
had 4, I think.
Whatever. Okay, either way, like, there's 3 minutes left in the game. I don't give a shit how many fouls Hartenstein had at that point. Just fucking close them. The guy was incredible. He's fucking flying around on the floor, getting. There was that one possession where it felt like he got 3 offensive rebounds. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was just a beast, and but that's what I'm saying. Like in game 1, he brings Mitch back. There's actually the funniest thing actually happened today in this game. In the second quarter, Miami went like all zone, right? So he wasn't happy with quickly, pulls him, fine. Don't mind that. Brunson comes back in. Brunson can shoot. It's not like you're, fucking yourself over in terms of spacing. Then he pulled Obi for Randall, which again, fine. Obi was terrible tonight. I have 0 issue with that. Then he took Grimes out for Hart, and RJ was in, and then he put Mitch in. And I'm like, this is your plan to attack zone. This is the lineup. Like, yeah, this is the lineup we're going with. It's just like, there's no way that makes any sense. And they had figured out how to beat zones this year with like different lineups. So it's, again, it just feels like he's now gone back on some of the stuff that we were giving him a lot of credit for. So again, ultimately, end of the day, I think he did pull he did make the right calls down the stretch. So you got to give him credit for that. But I don't even know if we needed to be in that. I don't think we're in that position if he just goes back to the rotations we had coming into the playoffs. Just in terms of, starting lineup and bench. It doesn't mean like if he wants to play Hart 35 minutes and cut Grimes' minutes, so be it. That's fine. I can live with that. But your starting point, how you're using these guys should be exactly what it was in the regular season.
Y'all think we might see more Randall at the 5, or was that just a one-time thing for Pittsburgh foul trouble? One-time thing.
That lineup actually killed, and I guarantee there's not a second in the second half where Tibbs thought we should try that.
Considered it.
Yeah, not at all. There's no.
That's what I told Kenneth when I was talking to him at halftime about like the Heat and the Knicks. Obviously, he's a Heat fan. I told him, I said, Tibbs will run Hartenstein and Robinson into 6 fouls each before he goes back to Randall at the 5, despite the results that we got in the first half.
If Jericho was healthy, Jericho would have played. He wouldn't have gone to Randall at the 5.
Shout out Jericho Sims.
Poor Jericho.
Jericho jump, man.
One layroom Jericho.
Yeah, he's not going to do that. It's like if Tibbs wants to continue with Hart, I'm assuming he has to consider playing small ball with Randall at the 5 so we can get Grimes in there, or IQ if he's hitting shots. I mean, I agree. I see, like, where I'm at with this is I actually don't care that Randall at the 5 isn't like a significant part of our game plan or arsenal, whatever.
I don't think we have the wings for it realistically. Like, if you had a wing, like if you could play like shooter, Hart, wing, Randall, I feel like it works. But we don't have the wings to make it work.
Well, and I'm just fine with that in general because I get like not trusting Randall at the 5 defensively. I get all that, but it's just like it's just funny to me that you would see like Miami will have like lineups where Love is at the 5. You could probably try Randall out in those looks there. Like you could probably give it a shot there. But yeah, I mean, it's also funny because he's talked about like, oh, Hart can play the 4, and we've seen him use Hart at the 4, but literally the only time he plays Hart at the 4 is when Randall is out or Obi is out. He never does it like as a thing. Like it's not like, oh, I want to give Hart some minutes at the 4 here, because today, honestly, I thought Obi was so bad. Like if you wanted to just cut it to 8 man and not play Obi in the second half, I'd have been fine with it.
Yeah.
I would have been fine with that. And I think we've seen Hart is good at the 4. I mean, Hart's just good, right? So it's like he just makes shit happen. So it's just one of those things.
If only he had Cam Reddish.
I agree.
We are experiencing coaching regression from Tibbs. I think that's fair to say.
I disagree because Tibbs found his way by the end of the game.
But like the fact that he is essentially punting the first and third quarter is, again, kind of an issue that we suffered with the last 2 years with him, where it's like, why is Elfrid Payton starting, or why is Alec Burks starting? And it kind of feels like we're back in that hole again.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, well,
trade for Karl Anthony Towns. I think that would fix it.
no, I don't think it'll fix that at all. I think Karl Anthony Towns should stay where he's at. I think he likes Minnesota weather. Him and Jordan Woods can stay there.
Sheesh.
That was the lineup that got us those back-to-back Drew threes before halftime. Yep. Like, they essentially aired it out and gave Julius, like, clear lane to be able to score. And it's like, maybe make the game easier for the guy coming off an ankle sprain. And his second ankle sprain in a month at that.
Right.
So,
I was really just encouraged by Randall overall tonight. Mostly the shooting, but the way he moved in the paint, you can tell.
he's laboring.
Yeah, but he's also close, I think.
Yeah. Like, he went up for that first layup off the glass where like, he landed and it kind of felt like he was grimacing a bit. But I think as the game started to go on, I feel like he was able to settle in nicely. I think by Saturday he'll be like good enough. I think this game was kind of like I'm playing and like I haven't had my conditioning all playoffs long and I'm still like trying to get my rhythm back. I think by Saturday he'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. He looks fine.
I'm not worried about Randall.
Yeah. If he can play like that, then like
I think him and Brunson will be fine by Saturday.
That's Saturday. That's my thing.
yeah.
I think Butler's the bigger concern, which is better for us.
And truth be told, like I'm still not convinced that he plays Saturday. Like I think he'll give it a go, but like I'm not sure. I think he'll probably be more compromised than like we're understanding.
Butler's playing Saturday.
He's playing Saturday, but like he's not going to be playing if you get what I'm saying. Like he's not really going to be able to like do much on that ankle. I think that ankle's a lot more banged up than they're letting on.
No, he was walking without a limp in MSG today.
Sure, we'll go with that. How many minutes would Tibbs play Dylan Brooks if he was on the roster? I think Tibbs would weirdly love Dylan Brooks. So let's not sign him. That'd be great. Also, have you seen fucking Tibbs shake his hand?
Yes.
Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah. I've had that feeling before too.
Dude, like I literally could not stop watching Tibbs in the sideline and watch to see if he starts shaking his hand. It's probably a tick, but like, holy crap, it's so funny. And every time Jimmy's like handling the ball, you see Tibbs going like this. It's so great. Oh. Thank you for Jeff T for that fucking video. And now I'm just watching Tibbs shake his hand on the sideline to see how many times he does it. Congrats on the sex. I don't have any. I bet Julius is less than 90% by Saturday. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't really understand the point of that message.
I feel like I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it because I thought he was moving fine today.
I feel like he was moving fine, but he was grimacing, like noticeably grimacing.
He just grimaces all the time, though. He always makes these weird faces where he looks like he's like, and he's like, he does like the wild gesticulations.
What was that again?
No, I'm not going to do it again. But he just does weird shit. He has weird gestures all the time. I don't know. I really didn't think I thought he looked fine today. I mean, he's clearly not 100%. We all know that. But it's hard for me to watch that game and be like, oh, he just, I'm worried about his health.
Zan, how many compliments did you get on your shirt today at MSG?
Thank you for repping the brand.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but like that's what he does.
Like he's always a statue in defense.
He was actually. I thought he was fine in moments today, but yeah, there were a couple of possessions in a row where I was like, "Dude, are you for real right now?"
He was like, "Oh, my ankle's tense."
Yeah,
it's like his ankles were like overheating, and he had to like let them cool off. And then like when he was able to play defense, it was like he was able to play defense in moments, but yeah, he just was not engaged as he should have been for a playoff game.
Now he's just being cheeky.
I saw complimented me. It was almost distracting through the game. Good. That's what happens when you wear Strickland merch. Speaking of Strickland merch, we have the yearbook tee out now. It's great. Designed by our resident designer, Zach. Great job. How's that for a segue, Schwinn? This hosting shit is easy.
That was a terrible segue, but
I tried.
I'm happy you did one.
I tried. At 3 that game, Julie's game up tomorrow to make it 93-87. Almost ended my life. Yeah.
That one. That was right after one of the Vincent threes, I think.
Yep.
That was after the Vincent three that Julius just like watched him dribble into. If I remember correctly.
To be fair, that shot was like a 20. That was like a 27-footer that he took.
Yeah, but he literally just didn't like do anything. You have to actually do shit.
I agree, but I'm also just like Gabe Vincent had like a Steph Curry out of body experience, and I'm just like I don't know how to feel about it. Like I was frustrated in the moment, but looking back at some of those shots, like what the fuck? How the hell were those shots able to like actually be taken and went down? I don't know what got into Gabe Vincent. I don't know what got to Gabe Vincent, but like apparently he decided to fucking ball his head off. But that fourth quarter was just like that was an out of body experience, dude.
I mean, he like I feel like every bounce of the ball, every fifth, like everything went their way, and just that one where like it looked like Hartenstein and RJ were about to strip Gabe Vincent, and then he somehow like gets the ball. It looked like he might have traveled. He probably did travel, but then he gets out of it, and then they get a corner three out of it from Caleb Martin. And then there was that one I talked about where like quickly and Hartenstein trapped Vincent on the corner. And yes, Obi makes a stupid rotation, but he makes like this incredible cross-court pass as he's falling out of bounds to Caleb Martin again in the corner who drains the three. And then there was one rebound where, I mean, I actually think RJ didn't do a good job of just going after it. But it was like Hartenstein, Hart, and RJ were right there. And I don't remember who came up with it. It might have been Love or somebody, but like it just felt like every single time that there was a loose ball or, you know, a chance of a turnover or something, that they were able to just find the right, like the ball just bounced right into their lap. You would hope that at some point those things work for us. And I didn't think it was like an effort thing. Like I don't think the Knicks' effort for the most part was lacking. Execution was lacking. And their rebounding in the first half did actually lack some effort. But for the game, no. It was weird how some of that stuff just, it's fucking Miami, man. They don't turn the ball over ever. No. It's like they're like fucking robots. They just make the right play every fucking time down the floor. I fucking hate playing them. They're so fucking annoying.
I think that's also a big thing to watch. Is like this team feasts off being able to cause turnovers and get offensive rebounds, and Miami was just not giving up either. So the Knicks being able to generate those points off of those turnovers and off of those offensive rebounds is going to be very limited. So it's really going to come into like their shot making and how effective their offense is going to be. Now the Heat's defense is worse than Cleveland's, I would say, but again, it's counteracted by the fact that like they don't beat themselves. So when you beat them, you're going to have to beat them, and you're going to beat them like offensively.
I think their defense is, but their defense isn't. I would say it's a better playoff defense, and they're also just way more diverse in what they can do. And Spoelstra, again, he'll just throw so much shit at you, which is why I think people just hate playing them. Like we saw this in that Boston series last year. Like they were the better team. Boston was by far the better team, but Spoelstra wins every goddamn margin. They're going to win every margin. They're always going to make annoying comebacks. By the way, if Knicks fans can stop fucking celebrating victories when we're up like 6 on Miami with a minute and a half left, that would be fucking great. Like, have you guys fucking watched this team all year? I'm not talking about the Knicks. Have you watched Miami at all this season or any season? That is what they do. That is all they do. They win in the dumbest, most annoying fucking bullshit ways possible. They played like 7 billion clutch games this year. Stop. Like, the game isn't over with these fucking guys until it's actually over. And we saw that today because Julius decided to make it interesting. Hart missed a couple free throws. Mitch missed a free throw. I'm happy Mitch made one, though, by the way. That was great. It was huge, actually, thinking about it. But, yeah, like, they're just a fucking annoying team. You're never going to, like, you can't make mistakes because if you do, like you're already losing on the margin. I mean, how many? I felt like we made there was that stretch at the end of the third quarter where we took the lead, they scored, they go up by 1, and then it was like we took a sequence of just stupid shots. Like RJ took that fadeaway over Duncan Robinson with 20 seconds left of the shot clock. Why?
The Randall three was
Oh,
what
God.
really pissed me off.
That one was
Yes,
terrible.
For what reason?
And he
There
took
was
like
11 seconds left on the clock. He took a 34-foot three.
yeah, it was so deep. Like, why are you taking it from that far out, man? You're not Steph. Like, relax. Yeah, they had a bad sequence there, but like those are the sequences that can kill you against a team like Miami because they won't have those possessions. Look at how well they manage the end of quarters. Like the end of the third quarter, right? I think they got the rebound with like 23 seconds left.
Yeah.
They took the shot. Vincent took a shot basically with like 2 or 3 seconds left so that the Knicks they had no chance to advance the ball. Shout out to Julius for his double clutch and just getting it off right after the buzzer. Very convenient, Julius. Fucking worrying about your percentages in the middle of a playoff game. But like that's the small shit they do that's so annoying, but always wins. And then you look at like the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks at the end of quarters half the time, we don't work the clock in our favor like that. So this is a big series. I think the Knicks have to grow up fast because experience does matter, and you need these guys. Like you can, like once we've seen young teams figure it out as the playoffs go on. It's not some new thing, but you can definitely see Miami has been there, done that, right? In every possible scenario, right? Like all these guys, Gabe Vincent been in an Eastern Conference Finals. Duncan Robinson played in NBA Finals. Kyle Lowry, NBA champion. Bam Adebayo played in NBA Finals. Like all these dudes, Kevin Love won a championship. Like all these guys have played deep into playoff rounds. The Knicks haven't. They have one guy who has, Jalen Brunson. That's it. And he did it once. Randall has never been in the second round. Like nobody on this team other than Brunson. And that's actually playing. I don't want to hear about Derrick Rose. Like, give me a break. Okay. Like anybody that's actually playing, he's the only guy that's been past the first round. So these are their first moments. And this is why, like, I'm not like in the moment. Yeah, I'll get pissed about this shit. But like, I think when you zoom out, people need to just be okay with like, oh my God, quickly struggling. Oh, Grimes can't hit a three. Mitch, he's not making good decisions or whatever it is. RJ took a bad shot. Like, yeah, I mean, that'll be there. Maybe they win the series, maybe they don't. But like, you need to let these guys have those experiences and grow from them, one like positive or negative. And they'll
Unless
be
they go to the Met Gala the night before, then they fucking suck.
Right. But they'll all be better for it. And like you see this with Boston, right? Like those guys have been in so many, like Tatum and Brown have been basically playing Eastern Conference Finals since they entered the NBA. So that experience helps them, I think. I mean, even though they still find ways to shit the bed, that's kind of part of it, though. But yeah, Miami, these guys are again. They're not gonna give you the series. You have to go take it from them.
Yep. It was right.
Troy Brown Jr. is all of a sudden playing in this Lakers Warriors series, by the way, Sean.
Oh my God.
And he's playing well.
Oh my God.
Troy Brown Jr., good player.
Why is D'Angelo Russell actually having a good game? What is happening to the Warriors?
I mean, they played Game 7 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Kim Hong-Looney has 19 rebounds. First team all trenches.
Him and AD are having a war. AD's balling, man. Shit.
Shout out Ted.
So fucking AD.
Ted tried to tell me Anthony Davis was coming.
And then
Pause.
AD.
Pause.
All right, that's where we probably should end it. Because AD is apparently coming. So Saturday is going to be Game 3. Any predictions? Any opinions? Any thoughts?
Knicks dub. That's my only prediction.
I'm kind of feeling that way too. I think Knicks go up 2-1. Schwinn, thoughts, opinions? Are you going to make the trip down to South Beach?
No. I will be not making any trip down to South Beach. Not for this game anyway. Maybe this summer. That'd be nice.
Do you have a prediction for Saturday or?
I think the Knicks will lose Saturday. I think they win on Monday.
Okay. Fucking loser.
You think the nightlife's going to get to them?
No, I just think I think Spoelstra. You give him 4 days to get ready for a game. I'll take Spoelstra over Tibbs.
Tyrese, you said game 3, dub?
Yeah, I think the Knicks win.
All right, fair enough.
But I do think I expect both Quickly and Grimes to shoot better in Miami than they have in New York.
And more importantly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Quickly has actually struggled to. He's actually shot enough. He just hasn't made enough threes, obviously.
My bold prediction is I think Quickly and Grimes both have 10 points apiece.
I like it. D'Angelo Russell just sliced and diced.
Yeah,
And with that,
I would suspect that I feel like Miami is going to take RJ away. I think they're going to make it a very big focus for this next game to shut him down.
especially from 3.
Yeah. No, how can you do that? But no, I think they'll make it a big priority to cut down his dribble penetration to start games because he's killed them in the first quarter of each game so far this series. And yeah, I just imagine that will be the big focus for Spoelstra over the next few days.
Gang.
Well said. All right, friends. Thank you all for joining us. We had about almost 50 people in here, which is really good. You guys have been great with the support. I tried my best to be Sam. I am not Sam. Same skin color. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Peace.